Now let's see about domains of development. Every child is a unique individual and has skills and abilities that can be further enhanced and developed. A good early childhood care and education program respects the different pace of development of all children and ensures that the child develops physically, socially, emotionally, morally, and intellectually to their full potential. Thus, the main aim of providing quality care and education during the early years is to enable the child to develop as an holistic individual and realize his or her potential to the fullest in all the areas of development. Development of the child is classified under six main areas of development. The curriculum must address the following interrelated domains of holistic development through an integrated and play based approach which focuses on development of life skill. So let's see from birth to 3 years what are the developments that happen. Sensory and perpetual development. Development of the five senses through visual, auditory, olfactory, and kinesthetic experiences. Learning to control and coordinate their reflexes. Coordination of sensory perception and simple motor behaviors. Display awareness of location and spatial relationship. So, next is physical, health, and motor development. In that, developing coordination and control of large motor muscles. Second is developing strength and coordination of small motor muscles. Next, integrating the movements of many parts of their body. Developing a sense of balance in movement. Adequate nutrition and sound health status. Begin to display personal hygiene skill. Recognize the importance of safety rules. So next comes the language development. Here it is begin to develop active listening skills, use expressive and receptive communication skills, develop vocabulary and use language to engage in conversations, develop verbal and non-verbal communication skills, display emergent literacy skills such as identify and differentiate sounds, phonological awareness, print awareness and concepts, recognition of letters, letter sound correspondence, building words and sentences, display the use of pre-writing skills that is scribbling, marking, drawing, etc. for various purposes. Next comes the cognitive development, development of object permanence, development of perceptual categorization based on how things look, feel, and taste, development of memory of for objects, peoples, and events, begin to develop vocabulary and skill related, that is comparing, classification, seriation, space, quantity, length, counting, etc. Develop skills related to observing, reasoning, and problem solving. Explore the physical, social, and natural environment by manipulating object, asking questions, making predictions, and developing generalization. Develop of creative and aesthetic appreciation. Begin to represent objects, events, and ideas in the form of drawing, clay modeling, and other art forms. Develop expression, enjoyment, and disposition for music and movement. Next comes personal, social, and emotional development. So, there is a display awareness of their abilities, preferences, and characteristics. Development of self concept, self control, self help skill. Develop initiative and curiosity, independence, and autonomy. Develop awareness of behavior and its effects. Display increased attention span, engagement, and persistence in daily activities. Emergence of pretend play and use of objects as representation, develop friendship with peers, show cooperation and participate in group activities, development of attachment and emotional bonding with results, develop empathy, learn to control feelings and express emotions in relevant manner. Now let's see domains of development that happens in 3 to 6 years. So first is sensory and perceptual development. That is, they demonstrate the use of different senses, sight, hear, feel, taste, smell to guide movements and recognize objects, awareness of space and direction, distance, quantity, etc. Physical health and motor development. developing coordination and control of large motor muscles, developing strength and coordination of small motor muscles, demonstrate the use of body with proper sense of space and direction, coordination of fine motor muscles with dexterity, eye-hand coordination, developing sense of balance, physical coordination, recognize different food and demonstrate healthy dietary habits, display healthy habits, personal care and hygiene, display ability to follow safety rules, make choices and avoid danger. Next is language development. Develop listening and comprehension skills. Use expressive and receptive communication skills. Develop effective verbal and non-verbal communication skills. Develop vocabulary and use language for a variety of purposes. Display emergent literacy skills and love for reading. Demonstrate interest and ability in writing. Develop competencies in home language with acquiring beginning proficiency in language of school transaction and or English if needed. Cognitive development. Development of various concepts including pre-number and number concepts and operations. Predicting patterns and making estimations in measurement data handling. Develop skills related to sequential thinking, critical thinking, observing, reasoning, and problem solving. Explore the physical and social and natural environment by manipulating objects, asking questions, making predictions, and developing generalizations. Differentiates between events that happen in the past, present, and the future. Develop knowledge of relationship between people, places, and regions. Development of creative and aesthetic appreciation. Representing objects, events, and ideas in the form of drawing, clay modeling, and other art forms. Develop expressions, enjoyment, and disposition for music and movement. Demonstrate creativity and inventiveness with materials. Personal, social, and emotional development. Development of self concept, self control, life skill, or self help skills. Develop initiative and curiosity in new experiences and learning. Developing a sense of independence and autonomy. Display awareness of abilities and preferences. Appreciate similarities and differences in people and awareness of behavior and its action. Display relevant and appropriate habit formation, increased attention span, engagement and persistence in daily activities. Develop interpersonal skills with respect to peers, family, teachers, and community. Display behaviors of cooperation, compassion, social relationship, group interaction, pro social behavior, expressing feelings, accepting others' feelings. Develop the ability to adapt and control emotions. Early learning environment. In planning for an effective early childhood care and education program, it is important to make sure the environment includes and caters to the many learning styles of young children. Children between the ages of 2 to 6 acquire knowledge in ways that are considerably different from the way older children learn. Children during the early years learn best through direct sensory encounters with the world. They acquire knowledge by manipulating, exploring, and experimenting with real objects. We can say that they almost exclusively learn by doing and hands on experiences. The indoor and outdoor play areas from the physical environment for facilitating learning for the children. These must provide opportunities for children to explore, discover, and learn in safe environment. The indoor environment should be planned, keeping in mind the interest and development needs of young children. The large indoor space can be divided into learning or activity corners with an appropriate arrangement of shelves and furnitures. It is of utmost importance to keep in mind that the quality of the physical classroom space along with the materials provided affects the level of child involvement and the quality of interaction between adults and children. The outdoor environment plays an equally important role in the development of children as it provides a space for play, exploration, and social interaction. It is mandatory that all children have the opportunity to engage in daily outdoor physical activity. A specific time must be set aside every day for break time and for outdoor play activities. This time can be used for three choice of play on the climbing and playground equipment, for more structured activities involving physical movement and balance, and for practical activities such as working in the gardening patch, digging and planting, etc. The sand and water play area can be in troughs with wheels to enable both indoor and outdoor play. It is important that the learning materials are modified for children with special needs. Setting up an early years classroom. The ECCE classroom arrangement must be flexible, which can be adjusted to lesson plans and activities, such as large group for singing, storytelling, and smaller groups for activities like drawing, blocks, and for individual play. It should also have learning or activity corners such as creative corner, book corner, game corner, so that the children can play according to their interests and choose their activity. Classroom arrangement during large activities can be like during morning circle time, leave enough space between the children. This way, the children who come late will be able to join the circle easily and participate in the activities with minimal disruption. So, what is a circle time? During this time, the children sit in a circle along with the ECCE teacher. Circle time can be used for engaging the children in a discussion, reading a book, or singing songs or rhymes, etc. Sitting in a circle allows all children to face each other clearly. The teacher sits on the same type of chair or mat as the children, which conveys that ECCA teacher is a facilitator rather than a director. Classroom arrangement during small group activities. So, the classroom should allow for the ECC teacher to engage children for a particular age group in a small group of activities. During this time, other children can play independently in one of the four corners, that is, we call as a free play. The children should be encouraged to choose a corner of their own interest, as this will motivate them to be engaged in the learning process. Meanwhile, in the small group, the ECCA teachers can focus on facilitating activities or discussion that are somewhat challenging and need guidance from an adult. In this way, the space in the ECCA center can be used efficiently by dividing the children into one large group and four small groups. It should be ensured that the ECCA teachers can observe all children in each of the corner from where she might be working with a group of children. The next one is a free play. It is important to give children some opportunity to engage in free play. When children have the opportunity to choose what to play with, they follow their interest and usually remain engaged in activities for longer period of time and require minimal teacher supervision. Such opportunities help children to make simple choices, a skill that is needed for problem solving. In addition, as they remain focused in such activities for a longer duration, it helps to increase their attention span. The next is learning or activity corners. A physical space is divided into interest areas in an ECCE setting where children can explore, make things, experiment, and pursue their own interest. Separate interest areas of learning corners are established places in the classroom with resources that actively engage children and may change according to the themes or topics. Young children learn a great deal by interacting with objects in their surroundings. They are naturally curious, they love to explore and experiment with objects and learn from such experiences. The important learning corners that need to be set up in a preschool classroom are dramatic play corner, reading or storybook corner, puzzles and block corner, and drawing or painting corner. The other corners, such as creative corner, writing corner, science corner, and music corner, could be included and set up on a rotation basis in the classroom. Reading and storybooks corner. Young children need to have the opportunity to touch, feel, and smell the books. When exposed to books, they begin to identify the front and the back of the book and learn how to turn pages. After reading a story in the class, it is helpful if the ECCA teacher leaves a copy of the book in the book corner. Thus, children have the opportunity to revisit the book and take an active interest as they begin to understand what this book is about. After some exposure, children begin to bond with the different books. Sometimes they have a favorite book based on their favorite story or the picture in the book. It is essential for children to interact with books as they acquire a number of pre literacy skills through such experiences. A variety of children books, children magazine and books made by children in the classroom should be in this corner. These can include large board books, picture books, local folk tales, simple story books, theme related books, comics and newspaper. Dramatic play corner. Children often enjoy pretending to be a teacher, a parent, a policeman, or a doctor. While this may seem to be just a child's fantasy, it is an important mechanism for children to learn. By acting out what they see in their environment, they strengthen their memory. Also, this is a way for children to solve problems and engage in perspective taking. These materials here can include various kinds of dolls, doll sized furniture and clothes, doll sized cooking utensils, dress up clothes, combs, and mirror. Puzzles and block corner. By playing with blocks, children begin to learn about shapes, sizes, and colors. They may compare the blocks, arrange them in specific shapes, or create elaborate three-dimensional structures. Blocks motivate children to think in a creative ways as they build different kinds of structures. Moreover, sometimes children build a structure cooperatively, which requires them to communicate with each other and work them as a team. This corner should have blocks of different colors, shapes, and sizes. Puzzles matching cards, lacing strings or lacing cards, threading strings and beads should also be included. Include small toys such as cars, truck, animals, people figures and other toys that relate to children's current interest and objects from the environment. Next is creative art corner. Through drawing, painting and working with clay, children begin to understand that real life objects and events can be represented in many ways. This fosters symbolic thinking, which is an important pre-writing skill. In addition, these activities provide opportunity to exercise fine motor muscles of the fingers and hands, which prepare them to write. The materials in this corner can include different types of papers, crayons, pencils, washable markers, slates, different color chalks, pieces of fabrics, paintbrushes, tape, play doh or clay, boards, old newspaper and magazine for collage, and ice cream sticks. Next is the writing corner. Writing corner can provide children with opportunity to develop their early literacy skills. Children should be allowed to experiment and activities in this corner should not be directed. This corner should have materials that engage children to expose to writing such as different varieties of paper in different sizes, notebooks, notepads, thick pencils, stamps, stamp pads, punches, string, envelope, etc. Scientific corner. Scientific corner need not be a permanent corner in the classroom as children learn scientific concepts and skills in other areas of the rooms as well. We know that young children learn best through play and investigation. This corner may be equipped with materials that focus on only one topic at a time, for example, ramps and wheels, magnifying glass, shells, plants, seeds, magnets, and iron fillings. Weighing scales and weights, measuring tapes, or locally available material. Next is the music corner. Music corner should provide the children with a comfortable space to relax in. It may be equipped with a tape recorder and a variety of musics, including rhymes on CD, if possible, tapes. This corner may have materials such as ribbon or scarves for the children to use, promote creative movement. This corner must also encourage children to experience and explore the sounds of different instruments such as bells, singing bowls, flutes, string instruments, and other local musical instruments. There are few points to keep in mind. All the material should not be displayed at once, as this will be too overwhelming for the children. Consider changing the materials in each corner after every 2 weeks. Children need time to practice, but in the materials that never changed, they will get bored and will lose interest in that corner. Keep active noise centers, that is, blocks and constructions at a distance from quiet ones, reading, games, and toys. All corners should be labeled using words and illustration alongside and stating how many children can work there at a time by drawing stick, puppets such as children can read it. All containers in each corner should be labeled and similar labels should be put on the storage shelves showing children where the materials need to be stored. Once children finish working with a specific material, he or she over time and with the support can participate in cleaning up and caring for the materials. So what are the displays on the wall? It is essential to display children's artwork and projects on the wall. This helps children to remember the activities in which they participated and foster their self esteem as they feel their work is valued. Parents also feel proud of their children and take more active interest in their education when they see their children's work displayed in the center. All display should be at child's eye level. Other pictures displayed on the walls must relate directly to the current curriculum in the classrooms, such as the theme of the month. It is best to label pictures as this helps young children understand that written words can be used to represent object, which in turn help them to understand the purpose of reading and writing. Pictures can also include those of the children in case of the community in which they live. Furniture and mats. If there is a furniture in the classroom, it must be child sized, so children are comfortable sitting and working on them. It should have round edges and height of the furniture should be such as children can sit down comfortably and use their hands freely. Furniture is not essential for preschool curriculum or classrooms. Colorful mats can be used to mark the sitting area. It is important to consider the texture while selecting mats. Children must feel comfortable as they sit on the mats and focus on their tasks. Shelves. Shelves should be low in height and hold manipulative toys, puzzles, and other learning materials for children to explore. Children must have easy access to these resources. Storage shelves, low room dividers can be used to separate learning corners to clearly mark boundaries. Establish traffic patterns of movement for entering the room. Putting belongings in a specific space, access to bathroom and sink areas, and moving from one area to another. Next is grouping. An effective ECCA program should use appropriate grouping practices. It is well known from research that the multigrade as well as mixing age group is on the whole more appropriate for young children. In classrooms environment, teachers have the flexibility to use grouping that range from individual work to small and large group work, as well as whole class engagement to facilitate learning. Individual or multi-age group and ability. If the children in the class are more or less of a similar age, consider grouping them according to their developmental needs and abilities. Offer a range of activities for each group that caters to individual children and their educational needs. If a class has children with different ages, consider dividing them into groups according to their ages. Let each group of children work together. The curriculum should be planned to meet the developmental levels of each age group. Consider each child. Observe, collect, and record significant data that provides you with information that highlights their strengths and needs. The next step is to plan and set goals for individual children. Individual small and group interactions while playing the day and activities. Make sure to balance quiet individual time with large and small group interactions. Individual time might include choice of free play in quiet centers such as reading, writing, or the puzzle center. Group time is often energetic and noisy. Songs, rhymes, finger plays, dramatics, science, maths, and physical activities can be used during group time. Group time should fit in the whole curriculum and support themes and projects. Plan opportunities for group interaction both in the indoors and outdoor settings. Balance it with active and quiet activities. A large group quiet activities might include a story read aloud session. Small group interaction might include children working together in the creative center on a collage or in a constructive work in the block center. The ECCA learning environment should be planned creatively and imaginatively. While planning specific activities, remember to include the development of the whole child. A well thought out and planned activity can involve several aspects of development. Some essential learning and play materials are indoor materials like blocks, manipulative toys, materials to develop language skills, that is, books, picture books, materials to develop cognitive skills, that is sound box, visual discrimination cards, touch cards, feel bag, food items, picture jigsaw, and self-correcting puzzles for matching, sorting, arranging, classifying, problem solving, memory, sequential thinking to develop cognitive skills. Musical and art materials such as paints, crayons, sketches, pencils, clay, thread, cotton, paper, scissors, cloths, gum, etc. Nature as learning material, and indigenous play material and teacher made learning materials using are all the resources available for the indoor materials. Outdoor materials, like you have a play equipment like climbers, swings, sport field, sports equipment, bicycle, jump rolls, balls, movable items like boxes, plastic crates, storage shed to build balancing, jumping, climbing, swinging, and materials like large or small balls, old tires, rings, etc. for throwing, catching, kicking, sand and water play arrangement. So effective planning is an essential prerequisite for an ECCE program. The following elements of planning are imperative for effective transaction in the ECCE center. Long-term planning. So long-term planning is concerned with children's entitlement to broad and balanced curriculum addressing the long-term goals of all domains of development. It should cover the length of the time that children spend in an ECCE setting. In the ECCA center, it could mean from 6 months to 6 years. Consideration needs to be given to whether the planned program covers all the essential elements of the given curriculum and how other aspects of importance to the settling are to be included. In the education of children under 6 years, all areas of development are included in their daily experiences. However, it may be that certain aspects within those areas of learning are emphasized in different ways from one term or space of time to next. Medium term planning. Medium term planning addresses continuity and progression from one stage in each area of learning to the next, and from one setting or class to the next, drawing on the long term goals, curriculum policies and principles, and identifying skills, knowledge and disposition to which children will be introduced over a specific period of time. It is in this stage that the curriculum may have seen as most effectively organized by linking the different areas of learning through themes or topics. The most effective medium term plan draws upon the progression of concepts, skill, knowledge, and attitudes in each area of development. For example, once the children have begun to differentiate between the number of surfaces and corners of a triangle or rectangle, what concept or understanding should be planned for next? Short term planning. Short term planning is concerned with weekly or daily activities laid out with differentiation and planning for needs of specific group and individual children. It provides all the details of activities, experiences, resources, groupings, and teaching strategies which are identified through ongoing observation and assessment of young children. What is to be taught is already in place at the long and medium term planning stage, and now is the time to make decision about how these concepts, skills, and attitudes are to be introduced to the children in the ways that are relevant and meaningful. Keeping the above in mind, it is suggested for a preschool program to have the following: yearly plan, weekly schedule, and daily routine. So, what does yearly plan do? One of the ways of preparing the plan for the year is to identify the theme or the topic for each month, so along with the activities on different development domains to be undertaken. Some of the suggested topics are identity and relationship, maintaining well being, nature, physical environment, and social environment. Under each of the theme, organize the goals and indicators of development and learning to ensure that all the domains are addressed in an integrated manner. It will also help to ensure that the activities and experiences are balanced, developmentally appropriate, and enough opportunities is available for revisiting of concepts, skill, and dispositions. Activities should do to be planned for different age groups of children with increasing order of difficulty. The next is your weekly schedule. Weekly schedules should be designed by the ECC teachers so that they are activity based, theme based, and age appropriate. While drawing up a weekly schedule, it should be ensured that the theme related activities for all developmental domains are covered under the over the course of a week. Next is your daily routine. The daily routine is an order of events that shape a child's days so that they can anticipate what will happen next. In general terms, it should consist of activity blocks. The daily schedule material must meet individual needs and therefore variations in scheduling will occur. Daily routine should be planned in a manner such that it includes a balance of activities and quiet activities, provides for individual, small, and whole group instruction and interactions, allow for active exploration of materials within the learning environment, encourages flexibility to meet children's varying needs, incorporates both indoor and outdoor activities, has a balance of both child initiated and teachers directed opportunities, has a balance of structure and flexibility. The routine should be displayed in a location accessible to parents. It should also be posted at a children's eye level and in a format that meets their developmental needs, such as picture schedule indicating the activities of the day. Sample daily routine. So, morning circle time is 30 minutes, that is welcome or greeting, or prayer or conversation. The next would be work with materials, that is a free play and guided play. Third one is outdoor games that can happen for 30 minutes. Fourth is goodbye circle time, 40 minutes, which can be story or rhyme based on identified themes. And fifth one is school readiness activities. For children aged 5 to 6 years, this is sample. At least an hour each day is spent on the allotted theme. In children's development and learning. Assessment is an essential and integral component of any ECCE program to ensure that the program remains child centric and the experience and activities are planned according to the level of the child. Assessment is a gathering and analysis of information about student progress. It identifies what children know, understand, can do, and feel at different stages in the early learning process. It gives an immediate insight into children's interests, achievement, and possible difficulties in their learning, from which next steps of care, stimulation, and learning can be planned. Therefore, it provides a platform to support the planning of a sound curriculum for progression in learning. In order to ensure that the program is responsive to the developmental needs of the child, it is essential to maintain their developmental and learning profile. Why assess children's work? The purpose of assessment is to give useful information about children's learning and development to the adults providing the program as also to children and their families. It also helps ensure early identification of developmental delays, special educational needs, and particular abilities. Assessment contributes to evaluation, revision, and development of programs. There are few principles of assessment and reporting. One, assessment of the children is formative, continuous, and flow from the experience planned in the curriculum. Formative continuous assessment implies observing and documenting the development of the child by interpreting the evidence from the day-to-day experiences of the child with the purpose of recognizing and encouraging strengths and addresses learning and developmental gaps. Second is assessment is an ongoing process involving the collecting, combining, and interpreting of information about the learners, the classrooms, and interaction. In the early years, ECCA teachers need to evaluate each child's progress on an ongoing basis through observation of their behavior, their artwork, and other products, anecdotal records, checklist, and portfolios, interaction of children. Third is the younger the child, the more difficult it is to obtain valid assessment. Early development is rapid, intermediate, and highly influenced by experience. Performance on assessment is affected by children's emotional states and the conditions of the assessment. At this stage, assessment must be purely qualitative judgment of children's activities in various domains and an assessment of the status of their health and physical development based on observation through everyday interaction. On no account should children be made to take any form of test, either oral or written form. Next is home-based observation may also be conducted, and parents should also be encouraged to be part of assessment of young children. The current level of performance should be rewarded to reinforce small steps of accomplishment towards the long-term goals. Next is assessment has values that goes well beyond measuring a child's progress and should be used to evaluate programs, identify staff development, needs and plans for future interaction. Next is teachers must document each child's learning in a variety of ways. This will make them accountable towards improving the program, which in turn will help them in supporting and assisting children in achieving the learning objectives stated for the program. The documentation will provide administrator and the teaching staff with valid information on how to improve the program. Incorporate changes that are necessary, plan, organize on what to do next, what questions to ask, and resources to provide for. Each child's folder should be available for parents and children to view in the center and should remain in the center until such time as a child's transition to another learning center or into the kindergarten program or in a school. It is then that this portfolio must be handed over to the respective family members who would then require depositing it with the administrators of the center or school to which the child is transitioning to. All parents should receive a written or verbal progress summary report of their child at least twice a year. What to assess? The early years curriculum would provide the opportunity for learners to construct meaning, acquire skills, and dispositions principally through play and activity based approach. It further ensures that the whole child is addressed and the activities focused on integrated learning in all domains of development. Therefore, feedback should be given on child progress and performance in these areas. Therefore, assessment of children's learning involves the observation of children by the ECCA teachers or caregivers for the purpose of improving the program in order to help children achieve the appropriate developmental tasks. When and how to access. Continuous assessment should be an integral part of the ECCA program. The use of assessment to judge the effectiveness of both care and learning process is essential to allow ECCA teachers or caregivers and children to identify their strengths and weaknesses and the effectiveness of the program. The purpose and the means of assessment should be clearly shared with parents and families too. Observation and documentation of children's learning is interwoven with the daily learning and help ECCA teachers or caregivers find out what the children already know in order to plan the next stage of learning. Different methods and tools may be used for observation and documentation of children's development and learning. It is essential that these are selected carefully in order to provide a range of approaches and therefore to provide a balanced view of the child. Let's see the role of caregiver or ECCA teacher. The caregivers or teachers in an ECCA program are facilitators who engage children in multiple experiences to foster their all around development. They play the following roles: observe children to identify their needs and capabilities and move with the phase of the child's development. Plan developmentally appropriate, holistic, and challenging activities. Facilitate learning to meet the objective of the curriculum. Adapt activities to suit the learning abilities of the children with disabilities. Like a child with a visual challenge could be given multisensorial experiences. Organize supportive learning environment by taking care of aspects such as arrangement of physical environment and equipment, the scheduling of activities and events and groupings. Develop responsive relationship with children and understand that the transaction within the classroom is a journey of mutual learning between the child and herself so that she can continue to learn and help the children in their care. Respect the child and the social environment the child comes from. Focus not only on planning and conducting activities but also on continuous process for interaction and relating learning to child's environment. Create nurturing and positive relationship with children and among other children. Interact verbally with children in a calm, respectful and friendly manner. Ensure social inclusion of children with disabilities in the ECCE classroom. Help in early identification and intervention for children with special needs. Work in partnership with parents. Develop a plan for the transition of children from preschool to pre-primary or primary programs. To accomplish the above, teacher needs to enjoy being with young children, be knowledgeable about children's development and early childhood curriculum, and should be skilled at implementing the curriculum. The other significant adults in the ECCA setup are also an integral part of the program for the child and must contribute to the above mentioned roles. Partnership with parents and family. In planning for an effective early childhood care and education program, parental participation and involvement is equally important. The program recommends that the early childhood staff should form a positive partnership with parents on an ongoing basis through frequent and positive ECC center to home communication in the form of sharing progress reports, holding conferences, sending personal notes, updating parents of events and activities, etc. ECCA teachers or caregivers should actively seek parent support, showing them how they can work with their children at home to reinforce the learning experiences that take place in ECCA center. If these practices are followed, it will certainly help parents to feel more confident and comfortable and encourage them to become actively involved in their child care and learning. Parents have a distinct role too. They are providing a nurturing, conducive, and supportive environment for optimal development and learning, encouraging exploration and experimentation at home, and optimally utilizing the ample opportunities for incidental and lifelong learning arising from the daily activities. Establishing a relationship of trust and mutual respect with the teacher, sharing and planning their development along with the ECCE teachers or caregivers, participate in the open days and other events for parents and community, not to force formal learning and competition at this early age and respect children's abilities and personalities. ECCE teachers and caregivers have distinct role. Let us discuss about it. Get to know families by making initial contacts to learn about each family. Learn about the various culture and social economic backgrounds of children and know how to communicate with diverse families. Initiate the building of a close and positive relationship with families in the open conference or meeting of the academic year and continue to provide a comfortable environment for follow up periodic parent teachers meeting. Have a definite plan that promotes parent teacher partnership. Be available to parents and families for help and support. Find ways to connect with families such as there is a constant connect between the two setting. Establish trust by reaching out to families through home visits, organizing meetings in less formal and intimating settings, and using written communication that all parents can understand. For example, send letters to home, inform parents about what their child enjoyed during the week. Build an environment of inclusions by inviting parents to school to have them observe classroom session and give feedback. Parents and family members being welcomed into the center on a regular basis, either informally or during planned events. Help parents increase their understanding of child development and support them in their parenting skills. This can be done through ongoing workshops for parents and family members that help them understand the all round development of young children. Know about the importance of practicing a healthy lifestyle, understand what eating a balanced diet means, and the nutritional value of different foods, health checkups, and immunization schedules, physical or emotional safety of children, handling behavior issues, etc. Communicate regularly with parents in a variety of ways to keep them informed about their child's progress and upcoming school activities. Children's work being sent home regularly so parents and family members can see that what children is doing in school. Raising any concern about the child's development and discussing together how to best meet the child's special needs. If necessary, recommending community specialists to provide additional help for children. Invite parents and family members to classroom and share their tradition, folklore, music, dance, food, etc. With the children in class, include thoughts and ideas shared by family members while planning. Ask for parent volunteers who can support and help you plan activities. Supportive elements. The flexible approach to curriculum adopted herein requires certain preconditions as essentials. They are 1. Enabling and stimulating care and learning environment which have been carefully designed and is child friendly. Contextually and culturally appropriate curriculum content. Developmentally appropriate learning and play material. Activity, rhyme and story bank. Children's activity book. Trainer's manual and teacher's guide addressing adult child interaction. Arrangement of the physical environment and equipment, preparing the classroom, maintaining and enriching it according to the needs of the group, planning of the daily routine, etc. To help teachers implement the curriculum effectively and use adoption and accommodation to meet diverse needs. Training of ECCA teachers and caregivers to foster the skill or help them become reflective practitioners. Supportive supervision, teacher appraisal, and program appraisal. Hope you would have got an idea about what is early childhood care and education, its objectives, its framework, and how early childhood care and education works. Thank you